Hey everyone, it's me. How y'all doing? So, before anything else happens, I want to talk about something that's important. Something really, really big just came up, and it's all over the place, and I feel like I just need to get out how I really feel about this whole thing before it doesn't matter anymore. I have had some time to think about how I'm going to word this, and how I'm going to explain myself. This is not going to be easy, but it's something that people should know about. Earlier this week, I was playing some games, and I was just trying to relax myself because last year was a real busy one for me, so I wanted to try and take it easy before getting back into reviews. Even then, I had just put out my Cuphead review. And then, while I was playing my game, I ended up seeing something in one of the chats that I'm currently a part of on Skype. At first, I was surprised by what I saw, and a part of me didn't want to believe that this was actually legitimate. But as more information on this situation came out, and as more people came forward with it, I could no longer deny that this was happening, and that this was a very, very, very bad time for everyone involved. I'm talking about the ToonKritic incident. Zak Kayes. If you don't know, ToonKritic is one of the more widely known members of the Brony analysis community. He was someone that kind of got into the fandom and started making reviews while the Bronalysis community was at its most active. You know, back when Digibro and Tommy Oliver were in it. Anyway, I watched this video where it was revealed that ToonKritic was erotic role-playing with a minor from the Philippines. This was something that he was doing for over a year, something that he was trying to keep a secret. And he was doing this knowing that it was wrong. And when I first found out about it, I was just very, very disappointed. For some reason, I wasn't shocked, but I was very disappointed. Maybe it was because we've gotten so accustomed to hearing that ToonKritic did something stupid, but this was beyond anything that he had gotten himself into so far. When I first found out about it, I was just stricken with confusion and surprise and uncertainty. This was something that stayed with me even as I kept on playing my game and I started seeing more and more people reacting to what was being stated in the chats. And it followed me even as I tried to sleep that night. The following morning, there was a call in the chat that brought this into mind, and as I got myself into the call, we discussed what was going on, and they told me more and more about what had actually been happening, and how legit the information and evidence was. And as I kept listening, I just felt even more worried and uncertain than I did last night. Maybe it was because I was just learning so much more than I did initially, but with something like this, you have to know the kind of aftermath that's going to follow. I mean, whatever you thought of Toon before this happened, he was somewhat of a rising star in the Brony fandom. He's actually had little kids come up to him at conventions telling him that they really admire his stuff, and they look up to him, and they feel inspired by him. And now, this just paints an entirely other picture of what kind of person that he is. And that's not including all of the times that he was acting like a womanizer at conventions, and it was somehow getting swept under the rug. This was something that I learned as well at the same time that I heard about this thing. After the Skype call, I was left to think about what happened even more, and I really was disappointed about what happened. Even though I was never close with Toon, it was still something that ended up affecting me in a specific way, which I will get into later. But at the moment, something that I was more worried about was how it was affecting others, people in the fandom, and people who used to be friends with him. One of the first things I did was I tried to get in touch with Golden Fox. I knew how much Toon meant to him, and for something like this about him to come out, I was very worried about how this was affecting him. He told me that he was disgusted with what happened, and that he was extremely pissed with Toon about it. He told me that he didn't know him anymore. And for this to happen when they were so close for so long, really close friends, even brothers, that just made me so sad. I mean, how it was affecting me was nothing compared to how it was affecting Brett. And it wasn't just him that I was worried about. I was worried about everyone who was getting affected by this who was close with Toon before this happened. Keyframe, Josh, Lightning Bliss, DeWilstonator, ANY, British Ninja, Ryan Percival Miller, and that's not even the whole list. These people were his family, and he betrayed their trust in the worst possible way he could have done it. And later on, I would begin to see the fullest extent of the aftermath. I left the house with my mom to do some shopping for a couple of hours, and by the time I got home and got back into my computer, the whole thing just exploded out of control. People were commenting on how shocked they were, and how furious they were with Toon, and how disappointed they were. People were leaving the chats because they couldn't handle the news and the situation and how it was just getting so out of hand. In time, there have been more and more videos coming out about the subject, one of which was actually the Skype call where everyone came to Toon telling him that they learned about what he had been doing and the extent of the consequences for what kind of bed he made for himself. And as I continued watching it, I just got more and more, I don't even know how to say it, I just got more and more sad and disappointed and kind of betrayed. Listening to Josh and British and the others talking with Toon the way that they did. The tone, the inflections in their voices, their choices of words, you could feel that this situation was destroying them, a piece of them. Blissey was so broken up, she couldn't even bring herself to be a part of that call. She couldn't even bring herself to talk to him. And Toon's behavior during that call, I could not believe the personality and mentality that he was presenting. He was acting like none of this was a really big deal. He was coming up with excuses, trying to justify his behavior. He was acting like a child, with no self-awareness. He kept saying that he just made a mistake. This isn't what you would usually call a mistake. He emotionally manipulated a minor. He was blatantly abusing her trust in him, coercing her into playing along with it. And he did all of this for his own personal pleasure. I dug my forehead into my palms so many times, I could not believe the words that were coming out of his mouth. Not only did he knowingly do all of this, but after he was called out on it, he was repeatedly, constantly trying to avoid taking responsibility for it. He was trying to guilt trip his friends into giving him some kind of slap on the wrist or some form of sympathy. This was not something that they could just sweep under the rug, and he knew this, so he tried to get himself out of trouble even long after it was impossible. There was no coming back from this. And even then, as much as I despised Toon's behavior and how he tried to get out of this, I still had my thoughts more focused on how it was affecting his friends and his fans. Even after the last couple of days that this has been getting out, I'm still worried about how it's affecting others and how it's going to be affecting them in the coming days and weeks. Now, as I stated earlier, a lot of people have expressed how angry and disgusted they are and how sad they are about this whole situation with Toon. So, if there really is nothing new to bring to it, then why am I making this video? Well, despite that I was never close with him, and that I was never even remotely associated with Toon, I feel like I have a personal stake in this too. Toon, I know that you didn't like me. And I know that you really didn't care much for me. And at the time of this recording, I doubt that you are anywhere near access to a computer, if what I heard is to be believed. But if there is even a 1% chance that you find this and bother to see the whole thing, I want you to understand how this has affected me. What you have been seeing this whole time was that picture that Eliora took of us when we first met at Anime Midwest back in 2014. This was something that happened before I even started this YouTube channel. Do you even remember that day we first met back in 2014? It meant a lot to me. It was the first real time that I was communicating with someone in the analysis community, a subpart of a culture that I was really getting into because I was new to Brony at the time. You really seemed like an awesome dude. You were enthusiastic, you were social, and you were really open-minded to what others had to say. I still remember that we were talking about Pinkie Pie's characterization in Season 4. You were discussing slash fiction involving Shining Armor and Flash Sentry, and how Digibo fell from grace with his smoking. It was fun. I don't care what anyone says, it was a fun memory. And I really enjoyed the time that I was spending in that room, in that panel, just seeing you and Ellie getting together, working off of each other, and making some kind of connection with those who took time to come to your panel. I looked up to you. I admired you. I really wanted to be like you. A person that this fandom could look up to during a time when there was so much drama going on and people were feeling so split over the state of the show's quality, especially people amongst the Bronalysis community. I wanted to be your friend. And after I stopped being a jackass, I was still thinking about the possibility that the two of us could become friends. I was even surprised and kind of happy that you came to me. You contacted me on Skype, wanting us to share our contacts and wanting to be associated with me. I just felt so enthusiastic about it. But even then, I was still in that mindset where I would question if I really deserved it. In the Anime Midwest of 2015, I came to you with a cupcake, and I wanted to know that if you'd be able to come to my panel, because I had already been planning to go to yours. We were both reviewers of the show at the time, and I figured that you could learn from me, as I would learn from you. We would both express our thoughts on reviewing the show, and we could possibly learn from each other. You never showed up. I think you told me why, because you were busy or something. Maybe you just forgot. And at the end of your panel, I walked up to you, and I asked you, why did you contact me on Skype? I wanted to know what motivated you to be associated with me, even after everything that I did. I'm gonna be honest, I can't exactly remember what you said to me, how you answered those questions. But I do know that I still really enjoyed the time that I got to go to that panel just to see you talk and express yourself and get another picture with you. I just really enjoyed your company, and I felt like from that point on, we were going to become friends. After a while, that idea slowly started to die out. I had been hearing about how you were cutting ties with people and uncontacting them on Skype for no given reason. And this was around the time that you started that cartoons saga, where you tried to just cram your alter ego into each one of your videos, because you thought it would be cool. I will admit, I never liked the idea. But that didn't change how I thought about you. And it was because I still liked it when you put out a review, because I wanted to see how you would analyze something and how you would discuss and deconstruct something. I was just really into your reviews at the time. I even thought about doing a collab with you. I wanted us to do Sponge Out of Water because I liked the movie and I knew that you didn't, and I thought it would be an interesting idea for a video for the two of us to talk about how we both felt about the movies, to see conflicting feelings towards the movie and how they were going to clash and stuff like that. You know, the usual. even though we didn't always see eye to eye on stuff, I still stayed subscribed to your channel. And I was glad that I did because I was learning more about you through your cartoon saga and other videos. I still remember that video that you made where you talked about how your mother was a lesbian and your biological father was some shithead who left. And you were doing everything that you could to support your mother, and how happy you were for her that she found a new partner who truly cared about her and supported her. I still remember that Kingdom Hearts 2 stream where you were trying to raise funds for her baking store. I'm not exactly sure what it was called. And the moment you managed to raise all of those funds, you gave your mother a phone call, and she was so shocked and surprised and happy to find out that just by playing a video game, you were able to help her, work towards her goal in life. And I really enjoyed seeing your sense of accomplishment and happiness and knowing that you did something nice for your mom. And it was nice seeing everyone else being a part of it too, how they helped you get there. I guess I can really relate to that, seeing as how I myself am a mama's boy, and I guess we're both just doing what we can to be there for our mom and give her the love and support that she needs. And I also remember the video during your cartoon saga where you revealed more about yourself, your issues with bullying in high school, and how you lost a close friend that you made in that school as a result of that bullying. I just felt so bad for being as harsh as I was on your cartoon saga, because I could see from that moment forward that your cartoon saga was a way of showing how strong you were, how strong you could be, how you were able to move on and adapt to all of the misfortunes that had happened to you in life. A part of me was, dare I say, even proud of you. We all were. We expressed it in that comment section. And then, after that, there was a lot of stuff coming out about how you were a very, very, very bad person. Taking money that wasn't yours, trying to benefit from your friendships in a selfish way, and breaking up with Kage the way that you did at her first convention. I was really starting to resent you. And after some time passed by, I figured, after I was given some time to think about it, maybe there was still a chance. And I wanted to give you that other chance. That there was good in you. And that, we could have some kind of friendship. Even after all of the news came out with FNGR's videos and about the Kage situation. I couldn't just act like nothing good came out of your involvement in the Brony fandom. You helped Keyframe when she was in an extremely low point in her life. Even in one of your more recent streams a couple of months ago, before Christmas of 2017, you mentioned how you wanted to play Pokemon Stadium, but you didn't have it, so you were going to go buy it somewhere. I said in the chat that I have a copy of Pokemon Stadium and that I was willing to mail it to you because you were giving out your P.O. box to your fans. And Golden Fox was the first one to tell you that I had a copy of Pokemon Stadium that I was willing to give to you because, I didn't like the game. It was just a shitty, watered-down version of the Game Boy Advance games, and I figured, well, I didn't like it, maybe he would, so I figured I would give it to you. And in that package that I mailed to you with the game in it, I also put in a letter saying, "Thanks for helping out Keyframe. She really needed it." And I did it because I knew that I thought that it would help you to like me even just a little bit more. Because I still wanted to be your friend. And I knew how much it had to have meant to you that you helped give her a better life. And then I had to find out about this situation. For over a year, you were making advances on a minor, getting her involved in erotic roleplay. You tried to keep this hidden from everyone else. You were doing this with some form of knowledge that you knew that this was wrong. And when you were confronted about this, you were blatantly avoiding responsibility and desperately trying to pathetically gain sympathy from your ex-friends. Treating this like it wasn't even a big deal. I cannot even begin to imagine what your mother is going through, how this is affecting her. You want to know something, dude? I just remembered that I still have that badge and that business card that you gave me. And by the time that this video comes out, I will have already thrown them out. I cannot bring myself to have those in my possession after learning about this. Others have expressed anger and disgust towards you. Personally, I am both of those things, and much more. I am disappointed in you, and I feel sorry for you. You are now just another one of those people who let fame get the best of them and thought that they could get away with anything that they wanted just because they had some form of popularity. You had nearly everything that a Brony analyst could want. Fans, fan art, friends and family within the fandom, and you blew it. You let it all go to your head. And now, it's gone. Everything you've valued, everything you've worked for, all of the lives that you had some kind of impact on, and the changes that you've made as a Brony YouTuber, it's all gone. And it's not coming back. And do you want to know why this makes me so disgusted and disappointed and angry? Because I know that you weren't always like this. I saw the kind of person that you were before letting the fame get to your head. I saw it that first time I interacted with you at that panel back in 2014. I watched your videos over the last 4 to 5 years, seeing how you've changed, how you evolved, how far you've come since you made that first collab with Voice of Reason. You started out as such a great guy. And even after the trouble that you were getting into, before this erotic roleplay with a minor news came out, even after all that, I still was willing to give you another chance. I wanted to be your friend. I wanted to get a chance to talk with you, just so that I could ask, why? Why didn't you like me? Was it because of that dumb joke that I made in your Kingdom Hearts stream? Was it because of that dumb comment that I made on your Power Rangers review that you did with Josh and DeWilstonator? Was it because I wasn't a good reviewer? Was it because my content wasn't interesting? Was it because I wasn't popular and you wouldn't have benefited from being friends with me? Or was it because of my rant videos? My old rant videos? And how they ended up rubbing off onto you worse than I thought. I just wanted to ask, why? Why didn't you like me? Because I figured that if we just had some time to talk about it, I could work out my issues, and that you would see improvement in me and we could become friends. Because I really did enjoy your company. I guess now that's never gonna happen. I feel like, I've gone on for long enough. This is a very, very touchy subject, and there have been a lot of strong emotions about it already. Before anything else happens, I just want to say, to everyone who got wrapped up in this, I'm sorry. To Toon's friends and family and fans, I am so sorry that Toon did this to you. You have my deepest sympathies. To those who were victimized by Toon's bad behavior in the past, I am also very sorry about what happened, and you too have my sympathy. And as for Toon, I don't know what the hell is gonna happen to you after all this is over. But I think it's safe to say that your time in the Brony fandom, it's finished. It's done. And the rest of us are gonna have to move on from it. And before you try to point any fingers, this was something that you did to yourself. And you have to spend the rest of your life living with the consequences. I'm done. I'm done talking about this whole thing. It was just really, really exhausting to go over. To everyone who, took the time to watch this all the way to the end, thank you for taking the time to listen to me. Your support for my channel is deeply appreciated. And I'm never going to forget about that. Bye.